What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review for Noah's Arc Season 2, episode 3. So we pick up this episode now. Noah, I didn't really get into that with the last review, but Noah is having some issues with this rewrite of the script. Remember, him and Wade pitched it together, and they did this whole flip thing where they were gonna make the characters gay. It was supposed to be a Will Smith thing, but of course, it's not now. And this is what happens in Hollywood all the time. Movies go from person to person to person, and it never, very seldom ends up where it's supposed to or where it started. So we have Rockman Dunbar, who at the time was known for, he was on the show Prison Break and on the TV series Soul Food. Now he's on 911, and he was on The Game. You've known him if you see him. And he's now the star of the movie, and he's like, listen, I see what y'all trying to do. I hear it, I see it, but I really want to go back to the old formula of the buddy movie. I want to go back to like a Trading Places, a Lethal Weapon kind of thing. And basically, I want the character to go back to being straight, which is really funny because his character on 911 is gay. But anyway, so, but he was like, but he wasn't saying it in like a homophobic way. He was just like, I want to go back to that formula. I don't really want to do anything different. So we find out that Chance is Chance, excuse me, y'all. Chance is struggling with, it's Eddie's bosses are coming over for dinner with their wives, and he's been struggling with this whole thing of not being the wife of the relationship, like he's still a man. And he had that whole thing with the wedding, when Alex wanted to give him a bouquet and all this other stuff. And he was like, there's no bride in this wedding. Like, I'm not carrying a bouquet. I'm not doing all of that stuff. Like, this is two men having a relationship. And so he's struggling with that whole mindset of not being seen as the woman. But he is, taking care of the cooking and making sure that the table settings are correct. But, it's that thin line situation. They're still having issues with Kenya. We're going to get into Miss Kenya a little deeper as we go on. And remember that Wade's boyfriend had invited, and I don't know if I said that part either, y'all, to be honest, but Wade's boyfriend had invited Noah to come over for dinner. And of course, when he first invited Noah, he thought Noah was still with Malik. And Noah had to let him know there is no Malik. And he was like, okay, well, no problem. I got some friends I want to introduce you to. Not a thing. And you know what? I ain't even mad at Noah's boyfriend, because Noah's boyfriend is like, look, keep your enemies close. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Okay? I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you got going on, Mr. Noah, but I got my eye on you. Okay? So we have that whole thing. Ricky is still struggling with dating someone who's HIV positive. He loves Janito, and he's trying not to be like ignorant or whatever, but he's still dealing with it. He's still struggling with it. And later on we see him and Noah at the gym, and we have this flashback of Janito sneezing, and of course every time Janito does anything that doesn't look like it's supposed to be, make him look like he's sick, he automatically jumps to the conclusion that his HIV is evolving into AIDS. And he's talking to Noah about it. He was like, well, would you date somebody that's HIV positive? And Noah was like, well, statistically, I probably already have. Like, I just didn't know it. He was like, yeah, but I do know it. Like, how do you feel? And he said, you know what? I think I would. If I loved him, I think I would, But of course, he's concerned about Ricky being careful and all of that. And he's like, no, we're very careful. I'm still struggling. And I think that's fair. Like, for all of Ricky's, negatives, I definitely feel like that's not one of them. Like, I honestly understand the fear, especially at a time when people were still learning so much. And Alex is letting the guys know that he just got this funny feeling about Guy. And the guys are like, don't do it. Don't fall back into that. Where that went last time and you almost lost your man. Like, stop. Get out your own head. But, Alex just can't shake it. He can't shake that. It's something ain't clean in the water with that. Noah ends up going over to Wade and the boyfriend's house for dinner. And when he gets there, the person that answers the door, now let me tell y'all something. Now I'm about to go old school with y'all on this one. If you grew up on All My Children like I grew up on All My Children, and y'all gonna remember that this was in 2005, 2006, so probably around 2001, 2002, there was a character on All My Children. His name was Noah, ironically. He had dreads down his butt, and he was a fine specimen of a man. That's the guy. He had cut his dreads off. He had like a little fade now, but it was the same guy. Because I remember when I saw it, I was like, that is Noah from All My Children. And of course, he was a heartthrob and all of that. But that's who answers the door. That's the friend that they want to introduce Noah to. Now, of course, Wade and Noah are making googly eyes at each other every chance they get. And Noah's actually talking to Wade about having to change up the character and go back to being gay. And Wade was like, listen, we originally wrote those characters as straight. All you got to do is just go back to what we did. Like take out all the little things we put in to make the characters gay and sort of flip it back around. And everybody in the room is sort of noticing that him and Wade are clicking when they start talking about writing this script, that they are like clicking and they're like a machine. But the guy's flirting with Noah and Noah's kind of like not being rude, but he ain't all the way going in, but he ain't being rude about it either. And he was like, well, I'm new in town. Come to find out that the guy, he's a writer, and he's a well-known writer. He's very, pro-black and that kind of thing. But he's also gay, so it's like he brings that pro-black to the gay, part of it, and that kind of thing. And so they have a good conversation, whatever. He actually ends up asking Noah out on a date, and Noah sort of plays him off a little bit. He doesn't say no, he doesn't say yes, but you can tell he ain't really kind of feeling it. But when they're getting ready to leave that night, and he's asking Noah out, says, you want to get some coffee sometime. And Noah kind of looks over at Wade and the boyfriend over on the porch kissing. And he says, yeah, kind of, you see him sort of thinking like, boy, you better go on and get out your head. Because this right here, it ain't going to be what you want it to be. So you might as well just go ahead and let this go on play out. So Alex is getting himself together to go to the clinic. He's taking a bath, and the guys, Trey and Guy are in the living room. They're playing video games. They watching football game or whatever, but they're being loud and they're disturbing him. And Alex was like, you guys, I kind of need y'all to keep it down a little bit. I'm trying to get myself together. I got to work the late night shift at the clinic. So Trey was like, you know what? I'll do it for you, but I'll do it for you, boo. Go ahead and relax. I'll take it for you. And of course, the guy was like, oh, I'll go with you. Alice was like, so he was like, well, you sure? Okay, thank you. So Alex ends up calling down to the clinic. Says, y'all want me to bring y'all something to eat? Y'all want me to bring y'all some dinner? He's like, nah, we good. And he can hear Guy in the background messing with Trey. Talking about some, boy, you better stop. Boy, stop. I'm going to knock you out. Boy, stop. Like that whole thing. And of course, that don't help Alex. Alex get to thinking again, like something ain't right here. So y'all know Alex got up, got dressed, went down to the clinic. And as he goes into the clinic, they up in the closet. They're in like one of the supply rooms. And of course, all you hear are the voices. And they're saying stuff like, can you get it in? Can you fit it in there? And of course, Alex jumps to the conclusion. He opens the door, telling myself, what are y'all doing? And Trey immediately gets irritated again. And, he's like, so this what we doing again? Like this will be doing again. We right back here. Like I thought we had gotten past this. I thought we had worked this whole thing out, but we are right back where we started. He was like, listen, we can't, like, I'm not going to keep doing this with you. And so he ends up walking off. He said, you really owe Guy an apology again. Because I just can't keep doing this with you, Alex. And so Alex ends up apologizing to Guy. And Guy's like, oh, it's all good. I accept your apology. And then he leans over to give Alex a hug, and he whispers in his ear, he says, you really gonna be sorry when I take your man from you, bitch. I remember the first time I saw that, I thought it was like a dream sequence. I kept waiting for it to be fake, right? No, it was real. No, he meant that thing. And of course, everything Alex thought ended up being true, but now you've sort of used up your equity because you done had all these quote unquote false alarms. No, it's like the boy that cried wolf. Now you kind of have proof that this man is trying to pull up on your man, but now nobody's going to believe you or listen to you. So anyway, that was that. So then we have Chance entertaining the bosses and the bosses' wives, and everything is all good during dinner until the after dinner moment comes along where the ladies are talking to Chance because the guys end up going out on the porch to smoke a cigar, and Eddie gives Chance the nod, like go with the ladies, and of course Chance was like, so anyway, he ends up going with them, and they start asking him all these questions about being, a gay couple, and how unfair that is to the child because that can make the child feel some kind of way, and it's got to give some psychological issues. And one of the wives is Drusilla. If you watch Young and the Restless, y'all know who Drusilla is, child. And of course, Chance held his own. He was like, see, that ain't even like he held his own. He let him know, listen, it ain't even like that. She's fine. We're fathers, and we're just like any other father. We raising our child, and they said somehow, that's nice of you to go against the stereotypes of society that gay men are promiscuous. Like, it's so nice of y'all to settle down and start a family, have this family. And Chance was like, all gay men aren't that. Like, we just made a decision to do what we did with our family. But if there are men out here that are, getting their freak on, like, it don't have nothing to do with us, And then they all end up together out on the front. And they all coupled up looking at the stars, and there's a shooting star, and they all talking about how much they love each other and stuff. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. Chance gets up. He did end up going outside with the guy smoking a cigar. Somehow he ended up out there because the ladies volunteered to clean the kitchen, to wash the dishes. And he gets up to go into the kitchen to kind of check on them, and baby, they are in their lip locked. They are lip locked down. And so Chance was just like, he let them know that he saw them and was like, hypocrite much? Okay. And so they all bunned up and, sitting on each other's lap, and they all huddled up and everything. And, Chance tells Eddie, you know what, I'm lucky. Because he's looking at the two of them women with their man, knowing that they really got something going on with each other, talking about how much they love each other and stuff. And he's like, you know what, I really am a lucky guy because here I am with a man who is standing in who he is. He's standing in his truth. Like, we might have our bumps and bruises, but he is standing in his truth. So last but not least, Ricky, we had that flashback of Janito sneezing because he was saying how dusty it was, and we know Ricky done fired his maid, honey. So he ended up bringing somebody home that he had met at the gym, and they did the same thing Janito did. They sneezed, and the guy was like, dang, when was the last time you dusted your house? And he was like, well, I need to get a new cleaning lady. And in that moment, he realized that he probably was being a little ridiculous, that Janito just had allergies, that nothing was wrong. He wasn't having full-blown AIDS episode. And he, puts the guy out, and then he ends up meeting up with Janito and taking him to work, and, they have a whole little moment. So it was cool, but this is the calm before the storm, honey, because this was a nice little sweet episode, but baby, it's about to get rocky. All right, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.